Have you ever walked into a room, started talking, and felt instantly dismissed? Like your volume was turned down, and you became invisible to the people who mattered most. Here's what you need to know. It's not your age, your gender, or your expertise. It's one tiny, learned behavior you're doing right now that signals to high-status people, my value is negotiable. Today, we're eliminating that behavior. I'm giving you 3 psychological hacks to instantly claim your visibility, your respect, and your presence. Let's dive into the single biggest mistake we make. The small request syndrome. The apology habit. Let's start with the first behavior. That's killing your credibility. Apologizing for existing. I'm talking about phrases like sorry, can I just add something? Or I'm so sorry to bother you. But, sound familiar? Here's what's happening psychologically. You're asking permission to participate in a conversation you're already part of. You're preemptively diminishing yourself before anyone else gets the chance. A 2018 study from the University of Waterloo found that excessive apologizing, especially by women in professional settings, correlates with lower perceived competence and authority. You're literally training people to discount what you're about to say. Think about it. When was the last time you heard a high-status person start a sentence with sorry, just? They don't, because they understand something fundamental. Confidence isn't about being loud. It's about being unapologetic for taking up space. The solution: eliminate sorry and just. Unless you've actually done something wrong, like you genuinely spilled coffee on someone or missed a deadline. Remove these words from your vocabulary. Replace them with statements of intent. Instead of sorry, can I just share my thoughts? Say I have a perspective on this, or I'd like to add something here. Notice the difference? The first one is asking for permission. The second one is claiming your right to be heard. You're not being aggressive, you're being clear. And clarity is what high-status people respect. Practice this today. Catch yourself before you say sorry and pause. Ask yourself, did I actually do something wrong? If the answer is no, rephrase. I have a thought on that. Here's what I'm seeing. Let me share a different angle. These phrases signal confidence and self-assurance. The upward inflection. The question habit. Now let's talk about something even more subtle that's sabotaging your presence. Your voice. Specifically, how you end your sentences. Do you know what upward inflection is? It's when you end a declarative statement, an actual statement, with your voice going up, like you're asking a question. For example, I think we should hire Jane, with your voice rising at the end. Or my recommendation is to move forward with this strategy. You're making statements, but your voice is turning them into questions. A fascinating study from the Journal of Language and Social Psychology in 2020 analyzed vocal patterns in professional settings and found that upward inflection at the end of declarative sentences reduced perceived authority by up to 30%. Think about that. You could be saying something brilliant, but your voice is undercutting your credibility. Here's what's happening. When you end statements with an upward inflection, you're unconsciously saying, I don't fully trust what I'm saying. Please correct me if I'm wrong. You're seeking approval instead of stating your position. And high-status people pick up on this immediately, not consciously, but they feel it. Your uncertainty becomes their doubt. The solution: the power of the period. This is where vocal training becomes your secret weapon. You need to practice ending declarative sentences with a downward inflection. Speak with the period at the end, not a question mark. This is the best plan. Period. Voice goes down. I recommend we move forward. Period. Voice goes down. Here's a practical exercise. Record yourself having a conversation or presenting an idea. Then listen back. Count how many times your voice goes up at the end of statements. You'll probably be surprised. Then practice the same sentences with a downward inflection. It feels weird at first. You might even feel like you sound harsh or abrupt, but you don't. You sound confident and authoritative. The difference is subtle but powerful. When you end with a period instead of a question mark, you're signaling, I trust my own judgment. And when you trust yourself, others trust you too. The shrink to fit posture. Let's move from your voice to your body. This is where things get really interesting because most of us have no idea what our bodies are saying when we walk into a room. Are you hunching? Crossing your arms? Using your bag or coffee cup as a shield? If you are, you're engaging in what researchers call low-power postures. Amy Cuddy's work at Harvard on power posing showed that when we make ourselves smaller, hunching shoulders, crossing arms, contracting our bodies, we actually feel less confident, and others perceive us as less authoritative. Your body is literally trying to occupy less space, and everyone around you registers that as this person doesn't believe they belong here. But here's the thing, it's not your fault. Women, especially, have been socialized from childhood to not take up too much space, to be accommodating, to make room for others. That conditioning runs deep, but it's costing you visibility and respect. A 2017 study in psychological science found that expansive body postures, open shoulders, uncrossed arms, taking up space increased perceptions of leadership, ability, and confidence, regardless of actual competence. Your posture is doing the talking before you even open your mouth. The solution: the 3-second expansion. Here's your new ritual. When you walk into a room, join a meeting, or start a presentation, give yourself 3 seconds. 3 seconds to consciously expand. Roll your shoulders back. Uncross your arms. Put your hands in a neutral, open position, not crossed over your body, not fidgeting. And here's the key part. Pause. Take 3 seconds to settle into the space. Don't rush to sit down or start talking. Just be there, present, grounded. You're not trying to dominate the room. You're simply claiming your right to exist in it without apology. This one small shift changes everything. Because when you expand your body, something fascinating happens. You start to feel more confident, and that confidence radiates outward. People sense it. They give you more attention, more respect, more space to speak. Practice this at home. Stand in front of a mirror. Notice how you naturally stand. Are you contracted? Now expand. Shoulders back, feet hip-width apart. Hands relaxed at your sides or in front of you. Hold that for 3 seconds. This is your power stance, and you deserve to take up that space. Let's bring this all together. We've covered 3 behaviors that make you invisible and 3 simple hacks to reclaim your presence. Number 1. Stop apologizing for existing. Eliminate sorry and just unless you've actually done something wrong. Replace them with statements of intent. I have a thought on that. Number 2. Master the power of the period. End your statements with a downward inflection. Speak with confidence, not seeking approval. Number 3. Use the 3-second expansion. Walk into rooms, meetings, and conversations with your shoulders back and your presence open. Claim your space. Here's the truth. High-status people don't respect status. They respect clarity and confidence. And now you have the tools to project both. You're not being aggressive or demanding. You're simply showing up as the capable, experienced, valuable person you already are. These 3 shifts might feel uncomfortable at first. That's normal. You've spent decades being trained to shrink, to apologize, to defer. Unlearning that takes practice. But every time you catch yourself about to say sorry and choose a different word, Every time you end a sentence with authority instead of uncertainty. Every time you walk into a room and take up your space, you're rewriting the script. And here's what happens when you do. People start listening. They lean in. They take you seriously, not because you changed who you are, but because you stopped hiding who you are. So here's my question for you. Which of these 3 habits are you going to eliminate today? The apology habit? The upward inflection? The shrinking posture? Pick one. Practice it, and then come back and tell me in the comments how it went. Let's hold each other accountable. If this video gave you clarity, hit that like button. It helps more women like you find this content. And if you want more strategies for claiming your presence and your power, especially as a woman navigating midlife and beyond, subscribe to this channel. Next week, we're diving into how to handle people who dismiss you even after you've done everything right. You won't want to miss it. Remember, you're not invisible. You've just been taught to dim your light. Time to turn the volume back up.